Everyone. Yo, what's up? Welcome to the opening line, a pre-holiday edition. Corey and Benny rocking with you. Getting ready for the 4th of July, Benny. I hear it's going to be a big party down in D.C. with tanks and all kind of shit.
I don't know. The last time I saw a party with tanks, I think it was when someone was trying to take over a country. So we'll see how it all goes.
Oh, man. I tell you, good times. So 4th of July coming up, Benny. You down there with the crew at the beach house, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm up here in the city. So, we're obviously you being in this neighborhood area too, whatever. Fireworks are illegal where we live at. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You remember back in the day, John Gotti would throw the big firework parade parties in Brooklyn and stuff like that. A lot of my youth and some of these recent years, you know, I would go check out my pops or my family in South Carolina for the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
They have fireworks, you know what I'm saying, as legal in South Carolina. So they got like little bins on the side of the road where you can go and pick them up and buy enough stuff to set up a bomb, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you could definitely blow yourself up pretty good with some of the stuff that you're able to buy. Pennsylvania's the same way. They're legal in Pennsylvania. So a lot of my friends would just drive over the border, go to PA, pick up a bunch of stuff, and come back.
Now, what I worry about, though, because they're legal in Washington, D.C. also.
Mm-hmm.
When my son was up here last week, he had some in his bag. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Anything could happen, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they get the rockets. They light the
rockets.
Yeah. And fire it at each other. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, hey, son.
Yeah, that's pretty dangerous, but okay. I mean, you know, you're rocking and rolling. We used to do it. My friends used to do it with the Roman candles. They get the Roman candles because it fires off like 8 shots or so. So you light the Roman candle, and then they would like hide behind like, you know, dumpsters and like fire them at each other like they're in a shootout. Like, you guys are
exactly. So that's probably the same concept that they have. And I'm like, all right, just be careful, son. I don't give a shit what you do at this point. I'm done. You know what I'm saying? I'm done. I never was a firework guy. You know what I'm saying? I remember when we was growing up, when we was back in Harlem in the original building I grew up in. I remember one year, a dude tied 2 M80s together and put it in like a small canister, and threw it inside the lobby of my building. The building shook. I never forget that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I watched somebody blow up a payphone with one of those.
With an M80?
You put in the coin slot for the payphone with the M80 and you light it up right there, and you put it in there, you light it up, blow the bottom part off it right there and start dropping out quarters. They were only like 10 quarters in the thing when he did it though. And it's very illegal, like federally illegal. Like, you know, the cops take you and they hand you over to the FBI, kind of illegal. So
yeah, that's it. Exactly.
I do not advise anybody else trying it. But it used to be real easy to get fireworks. Like we used to go down to Chinatown all the time, and it wasn't like you could still get them in Chinatown now, but you got to like know somebody.
Extremely black market now.
Yeah, back then you used to be able to go to Chinatown, and it was like if there was a cop walking down the street, nobody would say anything, but there'd be that guy like standing in front of the store like, yo, you looking for fireworks? You know, and you could just go in and they had them like laid out in the back, and you just pick out what you want and put them in your bag and go home. So it used to be a lot easier.
Yeah, it used to be. Now you got to get them imported from somewhere. And we don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's not me. But growing up in Harlem, you know what I'm saying? And now, you see, with Harlem being gentrified, right? It's like a homegirl that live upstairs, you know, every now and then, you know, I'll go outside to smoke a joint. She'll be outside smoking a joint, whatever. And this time of year, it's fireworks going off. So it's like, boom, boom, boom. And she's like, is that firework or a gunshot? I'm like, it's fireworks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have become a master. I can tell the difference between a firework and a gunshot. Now, tonight around midnight, you will hear some gunshots, but for the most part, these are fireworks. Gunshots normally are by themselves, unless it's a full-blown shootout. So a gunshot has more bass to it than a firework.
Yeah, it's like a pop. It's almost like it's going off in a drum or something like that. You hear it.
You're very correct. That's the difference between a gunshot and a firework. But tonight I will be on the lookout for both because it will be a mixture of both as we have had some problems across the street in the St. Nicholas projects. It seems like every week somebody's going down. The senseless violence, you know what I'm saying?
At least it's not the raccoons anymore, though. So
Benny, I saw one 2 nights ago, Benny. That motherfucker was big. And I'm talking about, like, go back in the house big. And that's the first one I've seen this summer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the first one I've seen this summer. They're mainly warm weather animals. They migrate down from Central Park. With all the construction going on, they like to, the little, the places where they got the dirt and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They'll go, and that's where they rest at and stuff. But what happens is, it gets hot down there in the summertime, number one. Number two, as these buildings develop, they gotta leave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, less and less places for them to go.
Yeah, it's a building on Lenox Avenue that it seems like I moved here about 16, 17 months ago. It was just rubble. Now it's like a legit. Okay. My bad. I had a messages came in. Sorry.
All good.
So the developments come in and they push the coons out. And last night, and 2 nights ago, one not rolled up on me. I caught him. Back was sticking up. I was like, that's not a cat. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to take a picture of him. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, let me not get – I'm trying to take a picture of him while I'm backing up. And like I said, when they make eye contact with you, these ones up here, Vinny, they start walking towards you. So
I remember the story you told about them walking on the back legs was that might have been the funniest thing ever on this podcast.
Last summer it was real bad. Last summer you had the ones that stood up and walked on their back legs. That was crazy. Then I saw one that looked like a dog earlier this year. But so far it's been much better. But last night, Benny, it's funny you mentioned that. I'm coming back from the store and I'm smoking a cigarette, whatever, and I'm talking to one of my homeboys, and he leaves, so I just stay there and I'm smoking a cigarette. And I feel something brush up against my leg. My first thought was it's a fucking raccoon. So I jumped, you know what I'm saying? And it actually was a stray cat. And I'm like, why the fuck would this cat rub up against my leg? You know what I'm saying? So I got out of Dodge, Brittany. I came in the house and I drank my problems away. You know what I'm saying? So there you go, right there.
At least you know when you're standing outside that the pussy's still attracted to you if the cat.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? At least that's one I can still get right now. What's up with you? How was your evening with the fellas?
It wasn't bad. I mean, I was hanging out with the kids, got them to bed, watched a bunch of games last night. Had a pretty decent evening. I obviously I had a whole bunch of stuff on the U.S. women's team, so that was good. I made a bunch of money there.
Nice. I was the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm not a patriot, but because I just wanted to be different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you should have told me, man. We could have got the rake-free bet. We would have went between the two of us and cut out the middleman and the 10% that, DraftKings or FanDuel were taking.
Not bad. I had Ellen White. I had Ellen White for the first goal scorer. She scored second. I had Ellen White at plus 900 to score in England to win.
Ooh.
Scored and England lost. I had
the Alex Morgan one I took. They had the odds boost on FanDuel, so I took the Alex Morgan to score a goal and the U.S. to win one. That paid it was plus 230. So I think they only let me take
Morgan's badass, son.
Yeah, they only let me take it for like $100. So I won a couple $100 on that one. I was pretty happy with that.
No doubt. You know what I'm saying. Last night in the summer league, racked up, killed again. The Cavs let me down. That was my only loss last night. Hit a parlay in that, won a whole bunch of games. So I'm going to get back in that tonight. The picks will be in the betting package. Look, I'll look at the matchups before we get out of here and break it a little bit down, some more a little bit later on. There's some girls hoops at 3 o'clock today, too. We got a little WNBA in the afternoon. So I might get in on that if I find an edge in that one right there. I think I already got a way and I'm looking. But let's talk some football right quick, Benny. Did the podcast with Jeff last night. Had a good time doing that joint with him. You know what I'm saying? Reminiscing on some of the old times and obviously getting ready for 2019 fantasy football season. And one thing I will say is the boys over at FG at fantasyguru.com up and rolling right now. you can get over there and sign up. It's going to be a good season because everybody is locked in and ready to go. So there you go right there, Benny. Minnesota Vikings, 9 is the number, Benny, and the juice is on the under. The under is at even money.
So before we get into these totals, let's talk about this because this is a pretty evenly matched division where a lot of teams can kind of beat each other. How do you feel like this division is going to work out this year between Chicago and Green Bay and Minnesota and even Detroit? Because how this works out is probably going to affect the way my numbers go. Personally, I feel like this is Chicago's division to lose with the other teams all kind of a step behind them.
I see. And Benny, this is a tough division. I'll be honest.
No.
It's a tough division because I'm not the biggest backer of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? I'm really not. I don't trust the quarterback. I think the quarterback is a little bit pedestrian. I don't know what the running game is going to be. You saw the quarterback struggle throwing the football at times.
Definitely a question mark with the running game this year. You're
Cohen is a dynamic playmaker, but he can't do it all.
Mm-hmm.
They're excellent defensively.
Very good
defense. They took advantage of a weaker schedule last year.
Mm-hmm.
They're down here for 9.5 wins. I would have to go to the schedule to check it out. I don't know if I want to do that today. but what I will say is I'm not the biggest Bears supporter, so I'm with you on that. The Packers and Aaron Rodgers and their injuries over the past, Aaron Rodgers' injuries and the Packers' dysfunction, I don't think it just goes away because the head coach is not there no more. I think a lot of it has to do with old boy Aaron Rodgers. I tell you, Benny, when you get these 30-something-plus-year-old quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls and have made a ton of money, guess what? They don't really change. You know what I'm saying? And they're always going to be assholes. Like Eli Manning's an asshole. Ben Roethlisberger's an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys they're not into learning new systems, Benny.
No.
It's going to be my way or the highway.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you think if the Packers do stay healthy, that they come out of this division? Because to me, they're probably the most talented team in this division.
Yeah, I would say that if Rodgers stays healthy, this probably is the Packers division. I don't think the Packers are that good, but this probably is the Packers division. As far as the Bears, right? It looks like they play the AFC West. So you got a weak schedule again because you're playing Oakland, you're playing Denver, outside of Kansas City and the Chargers, and then you have your NFC conference matchups. It's not like tough sledding for these teams. So it's really bunched together. I think Detroit can surprise. Mm-hmm. Probably not enough to win the division. The Vikings should – this division, as Dalvin Cook is 100% healthy, and they get him rolling, the Vikings should win. The Vikings probably should finish first in the division.
And this is my problem, which is why I wanted to do this before we started right here. I think all 4 teams in this division you can make a case for if this happens, they win the division, or if they can do this, they win the division.
Even the Lions?
What happened?
Even the Lions?
I mean, again, arguably outside of Aaron Rodgers, they have the best quarterback in the division, Matthew Stafford. They got some good wide receivers there. I mean, this is my biggest problem with this division, and I wanted to talk about this before we actually went through the games and did all the numbers, is I think every one of the in-division games, whether it's Bears-Vikings, Bears-Packers, Vikings-Packers, Lions-Packers, whatever, I think they're all maybes.
Yeah.
You have a whole division that's going to play 6 games that are maybes. It's going to be tough to get those numbers, which is why I asked you who you liked. Because, like I said, I think the Bears win this division. So, for me, I'm probably going to want to be over on the Bears. But if you're over on the Bears, those wins are probably coming from the Vikings or the Packers. You know what I'm saying? So, you can only have 1, maybe 2 teams in this division that are going to end up over. Because I would assume that all of them are probably 8-9 wins with the exception of Lions, right?
Son, the Bears are 9.5.
Right.
The Vikings are 9. The Packers are 9. The Lions are 6.5.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, you have 3 teams with 9 wins in this division. Whichever one of these teams beats the other 2, they're all going to play each other there, right? So that's 4 games for each one of them, Bears, Vikings, Packers against each other. the team that goes 3-1 or 4-0 in those 4 games is the one that's going to get over 10 wins. The team that goes 0-4 or 1-3 in those games is going to be the one that falls under. And the team that goes 2-2 is going to kind of be right on the cusp of making it. So that's why I think it's important, if you're going to make bets on the NFC North, have an opinion on which one of these 3 teams you think is the best, because with all 3 of them basically having the same number, one of them is going to go on over, one of them is going to go under, and the other one's going to be right there around 9 wins.
You know what? Then, if you look at it that way, Benny, and then and I'm the way I'm, and you know what? I think the bookmakers agree with me. Well, and again, not really. If you look at it that way, give me the most experienced team in the division with the most experienced coaching staff in the division, and that's the Minnesota Vikings. And their number is 9 at -120. They've played outside of the quarterback and Cook. They've been in the battles the most. The Packers, they have a new head coach who has nothing to do with the NFC North. Don't get me wrong, Aaron Rodgers is there, and we love Rodgers. Well, as a football player,
right?
People don't love him off the field. You ever notice that? His family hates him.
Guy can't even chug a beer. Come on, man.
His family hates him. People hate him. People hate his girlfriend. Remember the thing with the wildfires? And he put out that message. And his brother came back and was like, "Oh, how about call your mother sometime?"
I do remember that. Yo, his family's wild, man.
Yeah. Give me the Vikings to win the division. I take the Vikings on the over 9 to win the division. So there you go right there. I think the Lions are probably right on that 6, but I'll take the over on the Lions too. Somebody has to go under. I probably would go under on the Bears.
Yeah, see, for me, I like the Bears the most. I'd probably go over on the Bears. If I had to go over on another one, it would probably be the Vikings as well. I'm with you, man. The Packers have the most talent, but I just don't trust them to stay healthy and put everything together. I feel like every year it's something. But this is a division that I'm probably not going to have any bets on, with my own money in the preseason. I mean, obviously, we got to pick something here. But this is one of those ones that I'm probably just steering clear of, because I don't want to put any of my money on this, because I wouldn't be shocked if the Bears, the Vikings, or the Packers wound up winning this division.
If I did anything with this division pre-opening week, where's that right here? I think I know it already. I would bet, if I did anything, and I'm not talking about a large wager bet, I'm talking about a small bet on Detroit to win the North at plus 1,300.
Just because of the odds, because of the value, I'd agree with you. Because I like, if this entire division ended up 8-8 this year, I wouldn't be shocked about that.
Yep, and so there you go right there. That's the way I would carry it, because that's how I look at this division. I'm not in love with any of these teams. The Bears were nice last year, the double doink game, whatever. But like I said, the quarterback has to take the next step in that situation in Chicago. It's because it looks a little Jared Golfish to me.
My love for the Bears is basically centered around their defense.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think they'll do enough on offense. They tried a whole bunch of different things, and I mean, they were productive. I mean, Trubisky was not the best quarterback in the world, but he had some big games. What I really liked is that they game planned every game pretty well against the opponents that they were going to have. They spread the ball around. They get a lot of guys involved. So I think offensively they'll be able to put up enough points for that defense to be able to win games for them. Kind of like they did last year, and kind of like Baltimore did last year. Like, I think that's the kind of way that the Chicago Bears are going to be. So
I agree with you 100%. You know what I'm saying? Do enough to win the football game. It's funny, Benny. I was looking at Khalil Mack, 6 years, $141 million contract.
Yep.
D'Angelo Russell just got 4 years, $114 million.
Yeah.
Khalil Mack is a generational defender in the NFL. D'Angelo Russell's an NBA All-Star.
All right, so here's a good one.
Wow, Benny. That's crazy, son.
To take this argument even a step further than that about football players being underpaid, Calvin Johnson was the #1 wide receiver in his class, Megatron.
Yeah.
Jeff Samardzija was like the #4, #5 wide receiver in that same class. Samardzija decided to go play baseball. Samardzija has made more money as a middle-tier Major League Baseball pitcher than Calvin Johnson did as a future Hall of Fame NFL wide receiver.
It's wild, Benny. I think the most glaring thing was a couple years ago when Devontae Freeman got his contract. and became the highest paid running back in the NFL. His contract was almost identical to Zaja Pachulia's. A dude that was playing 10 minutes off the bench.
Yeah. Now, again, baseball players play 160-something games, which is 10 times what NFL players play. Basketball players play 80-something games, which is, 5 times as much as the NFL players play. Again, the NFL players take a bigger beating, in their games.
Contracts are not guaranteed.
Well, there's some big stuff in basketball. You're definitely not taking that kind of beating in baseball, though. But at the same point in time, there are arguments to be made along those lines that, those guys are asked to work more and blah, 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 whatever. But still, if you look at the numbers, this is why whenever I hear an NFL owner talk about the players getting too much power or the players this or the players that, I'm like, you guys need to shut the F up because you guys take a predominant amount of the revenue versus what other sports make. Football makes more money than baseball or basketball do. Yeah, basketball and baseball players make more than football players. Come on.
People always ask me about working in this industry, and it must be fun, it must be cool, it must be this, it must be that. And I tell them, it's this industry that we work in, it's only a 6-7 month industry. It's from August to January. That's it. From August to February. The NFL is everything in sports. It's everything. We have a fun time laughing and talking about the NBA and baseball and stuff like that. But guess where the money comes from? The NFL.
Yeah, to the point that we even see some of our competitors who have basically gotten rid of offering NBA and, baseball analysis because the NFL is really the moneymaker. That's where all the money comes in. That's where you kind of stake your claim and make your name. Like, you could support yourself, and we see companies who do this. You could support yourself being an NFL-only fantasy kind of offering. I don't think you could ever support yourself being a baseball-only or NBA only. And, like, a good example of that is something like Fangraphs, right? Like, everybody I know who does fantasy baseball uses Fangraphs. Fangraphs doesn't make any money.
So they got a support link on their site. It's like, to click to make a donation.
Yeah, like Wikipedia, throw some money to it. You can write an article.
Right, son. You're right. Like Wikipedia, you know what I'm saying?
No, it's true, though.
Whatever. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? I enjoy, most of the sports, but the NFL is definitely the cash cow in this industry that we're in right now. Me and Jeff was doing the podcast last night. Jeff's with me, we agree on Jared Goff. I took a beating behind Jared Goff last year, Benny. Mm-hmm. I sat up there, I told people, son is not that good. He's a bus driver. He's a game manager, and his buttons are just happen to be hitting throughout the course of the regular season. And I woke up Monday morning after Monday morning after Monday morning with tweets and DMs and everything you can name. On the radio, people telling me how wrong I was about Jared Goff. And then Super Bowl Sunday, I went to sleep with, you know what? You was right. Where are you at on Jared Goff?
I don't disagree with you at all here, to be honest with you. You give him one of the best offensive coordinators in the league, calling the plays for him. You give him 3 very good wide receivers, and you give him one of the best running backs in the league. And the line wasn't bad either. So, really, it's not like they won because of him. I'm not saying he sucks. Like, I'm not going to go so far to say that he sucks, but I think you gave him the right moniker. Like, he's a game manager.
Yep.
If you take him and you put him on a team that doesn't have all that talent around him, he's not gonna have good numbers.
Remember his first season?
Good.
Remember his first season, his rookie year? Those guys played his rookie year?
Yeah.
The people that do the analytics stuff was like, no quarterback has ever performed that terribly.
Yeah. And and what's the difference between his rookie year and now? You got him weapons. You got him a good offensive coordinator, a good coach who can set up a good offense for him and call a good game. So, again, I'm not going to knock the guy for being a game manager. There's been a lot of guys that are really good game managers that have had pretty decent NFL careers and won Super Bowls and things like that. But, for fantasy, if you're asking me to take Jared Goff, I'm not going.
He actually was not bad in fantasy last year. He actually did pretty good. I had him in best ball. And I was amazed that he ended up being my quarterback more weeks than not. And that team came in second in the Trendsetters League, which is a that, some of the top guys are in. You know what I'm saying? So it actually didn't work out bad on that front. But it's like me and Jeff was talking on the Fantasy Football Elite podcast last night. I think that might be out now or to be out today. They are in his headset until 15 seconds before the ball is snapped, literally telling him what to do on every play.
Like I said, you give him a very good offensive mind in his ear, calling the plays and setting things up for him. He's not really asked to do a whole bunch. It's not like Peyton Manning out there calling his own plays and making his own reads and things like that. So, again, nothing wrong with being a game manager. He's going to be a millionaire. He'll make a whole bunch of money. He could wind up winning with a good team around him. But this is not the kind of guy that you pluck him off this team and put him on any other team in the league and expect him to perform. That's, he's not that kind of guy.
We also talked about Antonio Brown last night. Obviously, that's how me and Jeff's relationship got started. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We had a dispute about 4 or 5 years ago. We had a big dispute over Antonio, a legendary dispute. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you exactly when, because the FSTA just happened. It was the year the FSTA was in San Francisco. So that must be 2014. Yeah, so that was going into the going into the 2014 season, or maybe going into the 2013 season, something like that. FSGA was in San Francisco, and we had big radio war, and it all spurned off of Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown was coming off a 60-something catch season, and I was like, he should be drafted in the first round. And everybody was like, this is crazy, and I needed somebody to pick on. You know what I'm saying? And nobody would go with me. But Jeff obviously was like, oh, I'm time enough. You know what I'm saying? So Jeff, we went back and forth. It was epic. It was great radio. But what ended up happening was Brown breaks out, and now me and Jeff came full circle on Brown last night. I told you the Michael Salfino theory, right?
Yeah, the over 30 wide receiver thing with Gruden.
That hurt my life, Benny. You know what I'm saying? But Jeff is like, he sees the targets, but he's kind of worried about, well, what happens if Derek Carr sucks? I think Derek Carr makes AB better.
I mean, listen, people forget.
I think AB makes Derek Carr better. My bad.
Oh, yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, 2 or 3 years ago when he had Michael Crabtree on one side and a young Amari Cooper on the other side.
14.
Yeah, they did put up some good numbers. I mean, he got that big contract because of what he did back then. So, again, I'm not a Derek Carr guy. I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, he's somebody you want to draft right here. But
no.
He is capable of completing passes. So I don't think – and especially – I mean, listen, the thing with me with Antonio Brown this year, it's not that I think they're going to be a high-efficiency hookup connection or anything like that. I think he's going to be a high-volume guy. I think he's going to see close to 10 targets a game. If he gets 7 to 10 targets a game, he's going to wind up putting up numbers. That means he's going to see – you make 5 to 7 catches a game, you're going to end up with 80 to 100 catches on the year. That's going to be productive for fantasy.
Antonio Brown got it out the mud. So and Jeff was talking about this last night. When you look at some of the OTAs and the training camps, and you watch Antonio Brown work out, it don't look like other wide receivers, Benny. It does not look like other wide receivers. That's an inner circle Hall of Famer right there. You know what I'm saying? Running routes, teaching young guys, and that's a best friend to a quarterback, a player like Antonio Brown. But when it comes to Juju, though, everybody's in on it. But now, Juju is truly the one in Pittsburgh now.
Mm-hmm.
So now he gets that bracket coverage. Now he's the guy that is, the focus of that offense. Pittsburgh's offense is strong enough to pull it off. Juju, I think, is talented enough to pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, Benny, who has a better season, Juju or AB?
I mean, I'm still going to go Juju because they just have such a better overall offense. Like, that offense is going to put up more points, which means he's probably going to have a chance for more touchdowns. They're probably going to be in more close games. Just look what happened to some of those Raiders guys at the end of last season. I mean, I don't know if they're going in full tank mode again this year like they did last year. But there were a lot of times last year in the second half where Jared Cook was sitting on the bench. Best pass catcher on your team, arguably the best player on your offense, and he wasn't even out on the field because they were getting their butts kicked in a lot of those games. So, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm still going to stick with Juju. My whole thing is, when you take a number one receiver off of a team, that can only mean as many or more targets for the guy who steps into that role. And that's going to be Juju. Now, is he going to have the same efficiency type numbers and catch numbers? And, like you said, he's going to be doubled more. He's going to be more of a focal point. I still think he's going to get his, though. My biggest thing is it just comes down to the two passing games, right? Like, I'd rather have a Ben Roethlisberger receiver than a Derek Carr one.
Yep. Benny, over under – well, before, after. Put it like this. Before, after. Okay. I'll set the date at November 15th.
Okay, so we're talking like maybe week 8, week 10, something like that?
Yeah. Before you hear the stories of the beefs between Adam Gase and Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, under, dude. We're already hearing them, but I mean, like, is it going to get worse? Yeah, like, I totally expect it to get worse.
Yeah, that's the Jet fan in you.
Well, again, I mean, I'm a cynical Jet fan, so take what I say with a grain of salt too. But first off, like you literally just got the job. You got pushed you pushed your GM out, so you're also technically the GM for a little while at the time. And your first decision as the man in charge of everything with the keys to the franchise is to talk crap about the guy that you just spent a ton of money on to bring in free agency.
My thing
it's not going to end well. Like, it really isn't going to end well. And
that's where I'm going with this, Benny. Mm-hmm. How long is he a Jet?
A year.
That's it. You think is the fight going to get so bad that one of them is going to have to go after this season?
Yes. I mean, dude, I just think back to Kenya and Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I just think back to. Is like you had the most talented player on the team, and you couldn't get him on the field because you had some kind of beef with him. I don't like Gase is not above doing that. And Le'Veon Bell.
You're right. He's not above.
I know. And Le'Veon Bell is the kind of guy who isn't going to.
Okay, I'm time enough for you. I got the big contract. Let's figure it out then. Let's see who's gonna stay.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And again, if Gase is the one who is pulling the strings with the GM and the organization, which it looks like he is, Le'Veon Bell's going to be gone. They're going to trade him in the offseason for a second or third round draft pick, or they may even trade him by week 6 of this year if he's really that gung-ho about not liking him. So, again, this is why I can't get excited as a Jet fan, because we did everything right. You got yourself to the point where you had all this money in free agency. You got the young quarterback in. You bring in a running back, which I didn't really think was the best move either. But I'm not going to knock Le'Veon Bell being in here. We need some playmakers. And before the guy even gets to step on the field in the uniform, you already got drama that's going to cause problems in the locker room. Not what I'm looking forward to as a Jet fan this year.
They wanted, the Jets were high on the former Packers coach, Mike McCarthy.
No.
The Packers trashed him. And when the Jets reached out to the Packers to ask them about McCarthy, the Packers organization trashed him on the way out the door.
I mean, again, you don't know the whole story behind the scenes, but I know him and Aaron Rodgers have always never really got along.
Yeah, and that's it. I'm quite sure Aaron Rodgers got something to do with that too. My thing is, the most important player on the team is Sam Darnold. You got to get somebody in there to work with Sam Darnold.
True.
Best you could have done a better job than Adam Gase. You know what I'm saying? And that right there is.
But Adam Gase, he taught Peyton Manning everything he knew.
Peyton Manning, you know who taught Peyton Manning? Archie Manning.
Yeah, Archie Manning. But that's why I always say, like, again, we talked about this when they hired Gase the first time. It's like that's what his like legacy is built on. And it's like, well, what did you really have to do with that? You know what I'm saying? Like you really didn't have anything to do with that. So I don't know. I don't get it, but I'm hoping he's good. I'm a Jet fan. I want to see this team succeed. I know I always sound like I'm down on them, but it's just, Corey, I'm almost 40 years old, bro. I've been a Jet fan for almost 40 years right now.
You ain't got to explain it to me, Benny. It's tough. You know what I'm saying?
I had 2 good Bill Parcells years to look back on, and that's about it.
All right, Benny, give us some baseball right quick. I'll log on to Prize Picks, and I'll get a prize pick ready. But give us some MLB that we can bet on today.
Yeah, I mean, the big story in MLB today is Houston Astros and Colorado Rockies are playing each other in Coors Field. The game has 14 total. I don't think I've ever seen a 14 total in a baseball game in America, at least. Not taking. But again, I mean, like for fantasy wise, everybody on Houston and Colorado is going to be in play. Betting wise, though, I don't want to touch that game. I don't want to be anywhere near it. If I did anything, I'd actually take the over 14 runs. That's how crazy this game could wind up. Things I like to bet on today, though. I really like the Angels against Texas. You got the young kid Griffin Canning, who's been really good for them. 61 innings pitched so far in a year. Kid has a whip below 1, so he's not giving up a lot of base runners. Problem is he does give up home runs. So down there in Texas, that's not really a good thing. But I like the Angels offense to put up some runs against the kid Gerardo on the other side. The Angels have the 4th highest team total today. The 2 teams in Coors being first and second. The only other team that edges them out is the Red Sox. So I like the Angels at minus 130 on the road in Texas. I think they could put some runs up. I'd also be looking for the Angels over 5.5 runs in that game because, like I said, I think the Angels put up some runs here today. The other bet I like a lot, I'm going back to something that I missed on yesterday. I took the Twins yesterday with Odorizzi on the mound, and the A's pounded out 8 runs against Odorizzi. He did not look very good, even though he's had a really good season up to this point. Today they got Kyle Gibson, who's a different kind of pitcher, but still a pretty solid pitcher. Oakland's throwing Mike Fiers, who's a guy that I've never really been a big fan of here. So minus 129 on the Twins with Gibson going up against Fiers. So those are my 2 favorite, like, good value plays. There's a couple other games that I think are kind of locks, but I'm not taking, like, Walker Buehler minus 250 or Strasburg minus 275. Like, of games that I think are bettable, the Angels minus 130, the Twins minus 129. I normally don't do this, but it's 2 road teams, but I like them both today.
There you go right there. Hop on over to right quick. WNBA, this Liberty and Storm at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Take the under in that. Everybody for Seattle is hurt. They keep winning. I think they're laying 7. I think if I saw it correctly, they're laying 7. I don't like that, but I do like the under. It's coming in, I think, 154. Whatever, like I said, they can't really score right now, and the Liberty is not going to push them, though.
Those WNBA unders came way down from the beginning of the season, huh? 154. We were getting 180s.
Yep, and they 154 now. They adjusted. So I would hop on that. Summer League, this is, like I said, I'll get most of the picks over there at Elite Sports Betting a little bit later on, but just giving it a quick glance today, the Heat and the Warriors, the Heat are laying 2. Can they win 3 games in a row? But they look very strong. The Lakers and the Kings are laying 5. The money line on that is minus 210. They'll let you know what the bookmakers think about the Lakers Summer League team when it comes up to them against the Kings.
I thought they got like 5 guys in the total roster. Would they just pick up a bunch of dudes in LA and be like, "Yo, you want a ball?"
It's like the G Leaguers and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They beat the Warriors last night, but the Warriors draft 30th every year. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? The Warriors are not a place where you go to find young talent. Their talent is on the real team. The Cavaliers and the Grizzlies, this will be a good game. These are 2 of the better teams in the Summer League. The Grizzlies are laying 1.5 in this one. So I have a pick on that in the Elite Sports Betting. Cleveland is getting even money on their money line. The Spurs and the Jazz, the Spurs are a 2-point favorite. The Spurs should blow the Jazz out, even though the game is in Salt Lake City. So that's Summer League. What we got prize picks, Benny?
Not much that I was really all that interested in here today. Again, I'm going to stick with what I talked about yesterday, which actually worked out pretty well. Stick with the Boston Red Sox and then anything you could find in that Houston and Colorado game, because those are games that are just going to have just so many runs scored. So, like, some of the numbers on these guys were a little high, which is why I didn't really like anything today. But if you're going to do anything, stick with the Houston and Colorado game. I think right now they only have up the early game. There's like an early game between the White Sox and somebody else. So I didn't get a chance to give you exact numbers, but I'm going to be looking tonight at the guys that are on Houston and Colorado and the guys on the Red Sox as the ones that I'm going to be, trying to get the overs for.
I'll give you a prize pick, Natasha Howard from the Seattle Storm. She's the only person on the team that can score. The entire offense is going to roll through her. They do have a prop up for her. So that's one right there that you can put with Benny's picks, and we should do all right. I got a dude that hits me up in my DM every day for stuff for prize picks, and you know what, Benny? I wish I could play it because they've been fucking hitting. but that's the way life works. You know what
I
I'm
know.
saying?
Do they have it in New York? It's not available in Jersey. Like I'm able to play the freebie version, but I'm not able to put actual money in it.
Yeah, I can't make a deposit either. They don't have it in New York either, which you know, hopefully they figured out a way to get it in New York.
Yeah, it'll be there eventually. The problem is that some of these states like New York and New Jersey, because they have the legalized sports betting, especially in Jersey now, you actually have to have a license to offer any kind of sports betting. Yeah. So like if you're one of these little companies, you basically got boxed out of the New Jersey market, which is a market with a lot of people and a lot of degenerate gamblers, as you know, if you look at the numbers from like DFS and regular fantasy. But they're all boxed out because they basically have to pay like a, $500,000 licensing fee to get in there. And these small companies aren't making that much in profit off of these states to make it worth it yet.
Somebody in this neighborhood is taking action, and they have a website. I don't know. I can't find out who it is, though, because as I'm walking, I'm going back and forth to the store, the bodega, whatever, or at the sandwich shop or whatever. Everybody is talking about, yeah, I hit this, last night I hit that, and I can't figure out where they're betting at. I know they're not going to Jersey, and I'm like, I got to find out who it is so I can knock their head in.
you know the way it is. I mean, people have been illegally gambling for years. It's not going to stop, even just with the legalization of it. You still got to pay taxes if you legally have a big hit on gambling on, DraftKings or FanDuel or any of the other sports books that popped up in Jersey. Your bookie's not taking taxes out. Might take your legs out if you don't pay him, but he's not taking taxes out if you win.
There you go. All right, Benny. Big piece of chicken, and let's get out of here.
Yeah, dude, my big piece of chicken is staying with Christian Yelich. He had another home run last night, so no reason for me to change it. The guy is absolutely on fire. I gave it to him yesterday for having 30 home runs in 84 games. Now I got to give it to him for having 31 in 85.
All right, so big piece of chicken for Yelich. I'm going to give it to the girls' team, the girls' soccer team. They kicking ass, taking name. So shout out to them, you know what I'm saying, as they try to wrap it up and bring it home. For my main man, Benny, I'm Corey Parson, the fantasy executive. The opening line, we are out.